Hi everyone. I've been wanting to do this for a while, and if you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen pictures or like sweeps or like videos of my cyberpunk guest room that I've designed in the last months. And I've been like wanting over and over to give a little tour of the room, and now I've actually found the time to do that. So right now we're standing in front of the room, and as you can see from here, it looks quite boring, like a normal hallway with a door. But behind this door, if you follow me along, you will find what I did in recent months with our guest room that I've completely remodeled in a cyberpunk style. So if you'll indulge me for a second, just follow along and I'll show you around. All right, welcome inside. Now, I'm filming this during the day, as you can see from the light outside leaking through the window, but I wanted to show you the room as it is like in a daylight situation before we go into the full dystopian neon lit cyberpunk interior that I've modeled this room after. So as you can see right next to me, there's this huge TV, which was actually gifted to me by a friend. And it was supposed to be thrown away. It's like one of those huge TVs that you have in like office buildings. And when they remodeled the office building, the company of my friend was asked to do the whole electricity and setup of the office space. And those TVs were supposed to be thrown away, and I was like, no, 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 this is a perfectly good TV. This shouldn't be thrown away. Just, give it to me. And so he gave it to me, and this thing weighs like 50 kilos or something. So it was an actual pain to get this here and to mount it on the wall. This thing is like mounted to the wall like I would have tried to mount an elephant to the wall. This is very, very solid, very, very fixed, because I don't want it to fall off the wall. But as much as this is like the centerpiece of the room, it is not the most exciting thing about the room. So you can see a few hexagonal decorations that I did on this side of the room. And I wanted to give you a quick tour of the features of the room while I do it. So just below the centerpiece of this TV, we have a little touch panel over here. I will give you a close-up in a minute. And with this touch panel in the middle, I can basically activate everything in the room that can be activated remotely via a remote or IoT services. So let me show you. Now, as you can see, there's a little compass on the left side of the frame, and there's a few buttons on the right side of the frame. And when I click on this touchscreen thing, I can activate the TV with it. So I clicked on the button, and the TV is supposed to turn on. And with the arrow keys, I can basically use the arrow keys to go through the menus on, like, for example, a Fire TV stick, which I can activate with this fun little button over here. And then it will go to the Fire TV stick, and I can actually go through the menus, open up YouTube, Netflix, Disney Plus, what the like. And so with this side of the panel, that's the remote for the TV part of this side of the room, whereas on the right side here you can actually see like the time of day right now, and on the right side here I can control like the lights in the room and the fan, which I'm going to show you in a minute. Now, I wanted to get back to the touch panel real quick to answer a question that will probably come up, and that is, how does it actually work? Like, how can I control the TV and the lights with this touch panel? So the touch panel is connected to a Raspberry Pi, and the Raspberry Pi is running a smart home control system that's called Home Assistant. And now with Home Assistant, you can basically create custom dashboards and to control all of your smart home devices. And I've hooked up a Logitech Harmony hub, which is basically like a universal remote for everything that is controlled via infrared light. And that is controlling the TV. Because I don't actually have a remote for it. That's the only way for me to control the TV. But also because Home Assistant combines all of those elements into one framework, I can also control the fan, which is IR controlled. And I can also control the lights, which are actually hooked up to Wi-Fi plugs that I can activate or deactivate with the touch panel. What I can also do is if the LEDs, for example, like this one, are controlled directly via Wi-Fi and not via Wi-Fi plug, I can actually change the color of the light with this. So Home Assistant gives me the opportunity not only to switch the lights on and off, but also to control the lights in more interesting ways. So I have a few options here how to control the lighting in the room and the colors in the room with that. I wanted to show you some decorations that I did. So this is like an IKEA Kallax, like 3x2 thing. And I bought doors for that. And then I plotted a few sticker designs for the doors, so that it looks a little more like sci-fi and cyberpunky. And behind those doors actually are like all of our old like consoles, like the Xbox, PlayStations, and the like. You know, I have PS2 under there, and over here with like the GameCube, the Wii, and down there my most prized possession, my Nintendo Entertainment System. It's all in this shelf over here. Then on the other side of the room, we have an old like shoe, like it's one of those like metal things that you can put your shoes into. And again, I plotted out like stickers for that, vinyl stickers that I put on to give it more of a cyberpunk, sci-fi space station kind of feel. And so this is basically where I started. Now over here we have a mirrored closet that I completely covered in vinyl, like a strong yellow vinyl, and the sides I put a black vinyl on top. And as you can already see, like there's little pieces of like posters and propaganda and stuff that I nicked from a Cyberpunk LARP, the Greylight 2142. And it's basically become a theme for this room. I wanted it to be like a cyberpunk room, but I didn't want to model it after like the classic like cyberpunk, like Night City from Cyberpunk 2077 or something like that. I wanted it to feel a little more personal for me. And since I was involved with the production of the Greylight LARP, I wanted this room to have more of a Greylight centered theme. So for example, over here, we have another poster for like a VR nightclub in the Greylight district. And I've also had little like acrylics, the acrylic parts of those like IKEA picture frames that I engraved with the corporation logos of some of the corporations in the Greylight universe. And so this is an ongoing theme in the whole room. Up here we have a little like nod to the cyberpunk aesthetic, you know, in case of emergency break glass, and there's like a little experimental neurochip there. Please ignore the typo that I put onto it. I just noticed it after I printed it out, and then I completely forgot to redo it. And then over here, of course, as in every cyberpunk world, you need to have your weapons. And so I put a few like very colorful Nerf weapons on the on this IKEA pin wall, and a little knife that a friend of mine made. This is completely LARP safe, so this is not really like an actual knife, but it's actually like a rubber type material. And so as soon as you enter the room, like you can already grab a weapon in case of emergency. Then over here we have the inside of the wooden door that you just saw from the outside that I've again completely covered in a black vinyl and made a sticker that gives it more of a like sci-fi like spaceship kind of feel with like caution, the door is under pressure and blah blah blah. But I just thought it would be funny to have like the inside of the door look basically like an airlock or something. And then on top over here I had another plexi that I created, an acrylic that I had engraved. And since I didn't want to place my cyberpunk room completely like in the Greylight district, I just invented the district of RS23, which is a little inside joke for me for something that I plan to do with this room in a few months. And as much as it doesn't make a lot of sense to have like a street sign or like a district sign inside of like an apartment, I just thought it would be a fun little like decorative piece on top of the wall to give it more of this cyberpunk feel to it. And now I think it's time to give you a look of the room when the top lights and all the like normal warm white lighting is actually turned off and all the neon colored lights are turned on. So, and there you have it. This is what the room looks like in its game mode, shall we say. So, as you have seen with the controls over here, I can basically turn all the lights in this room on or off by the press of a button on this touch panel over here. So, and not only that, but I can also activate this fun little fan over there. So when I press this, the fan turns on. So one last thing I want to show you is this lovely little LED fan over here. So the idea behind that is, and I'm going to activate that now to see if it actually works, because sometimes it's a little buggy, but seems to work out fine. So the idea behind that basically is, if you think of like Blade Runner and like iconic cyberpunk media, you always have those like holographic advertisements floating around the city. And so I wanted something for this room as well that does that. So I have this like holographic advertisement space kind of feel to it. And I thought it only appropriate that in a cyberpunk apartment there would be one space at least that would constantly show ads to all kinds of weird things. And most of the videos that are on that have been pre-installed with a fan, but I've also created a fun little 3D render of the Megacorp logo, which again matches the aesthetic of this cyberpunk space and the gray light district inspiration that I took it from. Now, another centerpiece, as you can see, is of course the table. So it's a regular sized couch table, and you can basically put your drinks on here, or you can play a card game about this lovely like cyberpunk designed bicycle deck to go with the room. But as you can see, it is also a television, so you can put like a video in the background that matches the aesthetic of the room, or you can just watch videos with friends. But it's basically to support and underline the technological advancement of having basically a screen everywhere, going with the whole, you know, oppressive Black Mirror kind of feel. And that's basically it. That's my cyberpunk guest room, modeled after the Greylight 2142 LARP, with a few added extra bits and pieces by myself to fit the room that I planned and designed for. Now, this is by no means the final product, so there's still things to do. Like, for example, I want to create a cover for this pillow over there, and I still have a few ideas of things that I want to do with this room, but this has been an overview of my funny little cyberpunk guest room. Thanks for watching.